Hey there, I'm Dave Boggess, president of the Pump House Players. I'm here with Barry Keene, director of one of our shows in the Halloween double feature we've got currently running at the Legion Theater. Barry has directed shows for us before. Let's see, you did, what was the one you did once before?
Misery.
Misery. Another thriller. The one that he's directing this time is called Dark Matters. Barry, tell us a little bit about Dark Matters. What's it about?
Well, we're on a double feature bill this time with Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. Dark Matters is the second play that's going to be playing on the bill. It's a thriller, mystery, drama. I guess all three mixed together. It's a remote house in a cornfield in Virginia, and it's a family lives there. A man and woman live with their teenage son, and the wife, mother, is missing, comes back with an incredible story, and the sheriff shows up to investigate the mother's disappearance, and the mother finally comes back with a fantastic story about what's happened, and that's about it without giving the rest of it away.
I guess in the same genre as like Outer Limits, Twilight Zone, something like that.
Yeah, I mean it's got a little bit of everything. It's got throw in a little X-Files. So you can mix in a little bit of every bit of that you just stated. It's exactly right.
One thing I liked about it when I read the script was the ending is not it's not a pat ending. You're not really sure what really happened when you get to the end of the show. So it makes it really suspenseful. What drew you to do this particular show? How did you find out about it?
Well, I read the synopsis on a website, and something else that had drawn me to it is the author Roberto Sacasa is a comic book author. So I'm a collector of comic books, and the reason that you just said about the reason you gave for the ending being the way it is another reason that drew me toward it, because it's got an ending that you described. It's got just the right amount of suspense and mystery and realism. For me, for a good mystery to be a good thriller, a good mystery, have all the components mixed together, is make sure that there's an element of realism to it. And I think that he's written it with an element of realism to where you're like, that could really happen. That's really that's very realistic, and that's partly what drew me to it.
Great. We've got a cast of, I believe, five people in this show. Four people.
Four people, yes.
Four people. So we have the two parents, the son, and then the sheriff, who plays an important part in the show. We have veteran Aaron Brown in the show, but then I think the other three this may be the first time they've been on the stage with PHP. Is that correct?
Yes, and the other three cast members that are playing, Will Brooks is playing the father, Michael Cleary. John Farmer's playing Jeremy Cleary, the teenage son, and Monteith Miller Crandall is playing the sheriff, Beverly Egan. And those three cast members that you just spoke of are theater veterans, but yes, they've never been on stage here at the Pump House, but they are all theater, very familiar with being on stage.
Right, I was looking at some of their the bios in the program, and I noticed that they did have a lot of background in theater, so we've got some real veterans across the board in this production. Let's talk a little bit about Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, which opens up the shows on the double feature. I know you've been working closely with Mike in terms of making these shows sort of blend together. Tell me a little bit about Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde and where it comes from, and how Mike decided to do that show.
Well, everybody knows the classic story of Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, written by Robert Louis Stevenson. Well, this is an adaptation written by Jeffrey Hatcher, I think is his name. And this, if you think you've seen Jekyll and Hyde, you haven't seen it. Come and see this, because it's a totally different way of telling it. There's without giving too much away about it, there's the classic Dr. Jekyll drinks the formula and comes Mr. Hyde. It's not the case here. This is told in a lot. 3 or 4 different people play Mr. Hyde, or incarnations of Mr. Hyde in this story. So it's a very avant-garde, different type of Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. So even if you've seen it before, come and see this and see something totally different, because it's not like any Jekyll and Hyde you've ever seen before. And we have worked very hard to make them work together, because they're two completely different plays. One is the fantasy Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, and the other one is more set in contemporary time, Dark Matters. So At intermission, the set completely changes, and we completely change gears over to another story. So this is the first time I think the Pump House has ever done this, and it's been very exciting for all of us as directors. It's been exciting for the cast, and it's been exciting for the tech crew. Everybody that is involved in this, I think, it's been a labor of love, but it's been a lot of work, but it's paying off. So we're really excited about it.
Right. I haven't had a chance to see either one of the shows yet. I'm planning on seeing them this Friday, but Dr. Jekyll, the costuming in this show is really fantastic. Because it takes place in Victorian times, the costumers sort of went all out in terms of getting some very interesting looking costuming for this particular show. So
yes, they work very hard and have mixed a lot of the different elements of a steampunk look to it as well, some metal look to it, to make it look like it does really, it's a fantasy that takes place in maybe somewhere else.
Yeah, somewhere else. Maybe not necessarily even in this.
Right.
But then again, current history.
Exactly. That's exactly right. And it looks great.
Of course, this is all in conjunction with Halloween. Chris Byrne is our front of house manager for these two shows, and he has really done a great job in decorating our lobby. We call it the haunted lobby, and it's a lot of fun to come just to see the lobby, but of course you want to come and see the shows as well. We have 3 performances coming up this weekend, on Friday and Saturday at 8 o'clock, and then on Sunday we have our final matinee show at 3 o'clock. And for that show, we're inviting everyone to come in costume, because it is, of course, the day of Halloween. And after that, we're going to have a reception, and you're invited to stay around and visit with the actors and just have a good time with a little costume party. Tickets are available for reservation on our website at www.pumphouseplayers.com, or you can call 770-387-2610 if you need to reserve by phone. The tickets are Barry, they're $20 reserved, is that correct?
Reserved, yes. I think 25 at the door.
25 at the door, so you can save quite a bit by reserving beforehand, and students, seniors, and PHP members get in for $17 at reserve and $22 at the door. We also have a group rate of $15 per ticket if you want to bring 10 people to any one show. So I guess that's about it. Barry, thanks for taking the time to come in and talk with us, and look forward to seeing the show.
Thank you, and happy Halloween.
You got it.